As we feel helpless watching all this in Gaza, how do we overcome the guilt and channelize our feelings?
Jazakallah khairan, sister. Dr. Sabah, may Allah bless you. May Allah reward you for your concern. This pain that we're feeling, this is a sign of Iman, alhamdulillah, that we feel the pain of our brothers and sisters. You know, there's some callous people that they're not even concerned, not even worried about what's happening there. But we have to also learn to be strategic and proactive and wise. So a lot of times we get reactionary, and this is not it's not prophetic. The Prophet ﷺ was not reactionary. He acted with deliberation. There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, التأني من الرحمن والعاجلة من الشيطان. Doing things hastily is from the shaitan, and doing things with thinking, thoughtfulness, deliberation, ta'anni, deliberation, taking one's time, is from the Rahman. So we have to think strategically. One of my friends, he said, think like a chess player, not like a checker player. This is what they do. They think strategically. They plan things out decades and ahead of time. They have plans for contingent events. Like they have plans for things that might not even happen, but they have plans for what to do, right? So we have to think strategically. And how are we going to correct the situation? It's not a simple solution. If the ummah, if the holy lands were taken away from us, but 80 years ago, we're not going to get it back in one day. We have to think about what caused our weakness and look at and study historically, learn from our mistakes, and look at the history and educate ourselves. So definitely part of it, big part of it was that Islam, and if you look at the Ottoman Empire, Islam, there were people who were like dressing up like the French, and in Egypt there was no hijab, in the last century. There was no hijab. Somebody told me in the 50s in Egypt there was no hijab at all in Cairo. Today, when you go there, alhamdulillah, 80% of the sisters are wearing hijab. People are praying. So Islam, we left Islam for a while, for a long time. The Ummah has been away from Islam. So we have to really come back to our deen. We have to fix our hearts, fix our intentions, fix our ideology, our aqidah. If we believe that victory is in nationalism, there was many countries that, the Ba'ath Party, for example, in Syria is a socialist, communist party. In Turkey, everybody knows Mustafa Ataturk, he's a secularist. And there's people within our lands in India, Pakistan, those lands, they're secularists, they're against Islam. So if we have this kind of and there's people who support them. If I say, I'm embarrassed to say, but maybe even the majority support these people. Unfortunately, the people who have faith, who want to follow Islam, are probably in the minority. So if these are our conditions, and then our children also we need to raise them with these ideals, these heroes. If their heroes are, I'm sorry to say, Muhammad Salah, or these football players, and they don't even know their real heroes like Omar and Ubaidullah and Salah ad-Din, they don't even know their stories. How are these people going to liberate the Holy Land? So it is painful. It is very, very painful. We should think strategically. We do make dua. We do send help what we can, whatever is allowed to help in a legal way. We try our best. And then we should think 3, 4 steps ahead of time. How are we going to unite the Muslims? If the Muslims were united, these things could never happen. If the Muslims were, come together, because divide and conquer, and even within Philistine, the agenda is to divide the Muslims. So standing today together, it's beautiful to see the whole Muslim world is united under one cause, under the banner of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And ethnocentrism and racism, we have to work to eliminate that from our own ranks, right? And realize that the taqwa is the only means of success. If we ourselves are practicing ethnocentrism, what can we say about other people? We ourselves as Muslims, we have this ideology, this racism, that this nation is better than this nation. And this is all across the board. I'm not just talking about Khalij or just talking about even our own Muslim, even amongst our own Desi communities, there's a lot of racism. And this is has to be, we have to work on this. Is a disease of the heart, the arrogance, and so when we correct ourselves, in Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah does not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. So education, knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. As one of the scholars said, I think they attributed to Adi, if you want the akhirah, the hereafter, seek knowledge. If you want the dunya, seek knowledge. If you want the dunya and akhirah together, seek knowledge. Ummah bi-iqra. And we don't know, many people don't know how to read in our own lands. The illiteracy is so high only in the Muslim lands, unfortunately. And our children don't know the meanings of the Quran. They don't know how to make wudu properly. They don't know the basics of their deen. We have to work to eliminate these inconsistencies. We're the Ummah bi-Iqra, we should be the most educated and knowledgeable of Ummahs. And don't believe everything you read in the news, because then we become brainwashed with the inferiority complex. This will be my last. This is I want to say for your, so Dr. Saba, your question. My last point here, and then we'll take the next question if there's more, is that we shouldn't have the inferiority complex. You know, the goal of the news media is to make Muslims feel that they're inferior, because it's very psychological. You know, when there's a war going on, one of the most powerful weapons is the media. You know, they brainwash people to think they're defeated and they're destroyed and they're weak and this is what they've done to the Muslims, to make us have a defeatist mentality. We are the ummah of Allah. We are on the haqq, and Allah will help, and He will grant victory. And in the Battle of Badr, Allah said, I'll send 3,000 angels. There's 313 Sahaba, right? 3,000 angels. And I said, I'll even send 5,000 angels. Allah is fighting with you. Who can be against you? And then okay, I said that would be my last point. Here's my last point. Ihfadillah yahfadak. Guard Allah, Allah will guard you. Guard Allah, Allah will be with you. The hadith of Ibn Abbas, every child has to know this. Teach your children this hadith and make it like, their one of their most important principles in life. If you guard Allah, Allah will guard you. The Prophet taught it to Ibn Abbas. Make this have this connection in your, when we take care of Allah's rights, Allah will take care of us. When we manifest that in our behavior, in our dealings with others, so then inshallah Allah will change our condition. So it's a long path, and we work for it, strategize, and collaborate. This is perhaps one of the purposes behind this gathering today, that we, inshallah, work collectively for this goal of for correcting ourselves, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan.